What's good today? What's good with everybody, man? Fix the intro. It's skipping. Hey, man, what can I do? Hey, what's going on, Jay Everything? Hey, happy Easter today. Today is the day that Jesus Christ rose from a tomb, I do believe. I think today is the day that happened. So, would like to say thank you, God. Appreciate you looking out for your son. Appreciate the wisdom. We appreciate the example. We appreciate the church today, even though I'm not in it. Appreciate and respect everybody's belief systems, their concepts of God this morning. So please take no offense that I'm going to be talking a lot of shit on Easter. Okay? So call me a heathen, but my God say get up and work. Get up and work. Nigga, what you sitting down for? You got shit to do. Good morning. And in my case, being the ignorant nigga that I am, it is to talk boxing with y'all. And today, what is the topic at hand? Let me say what's good to everybody. And always remind me of the topic. Jay Good, buenos dias, amigos, said, I'm currently in the UK and these Joshua Fury fans are brainwashed. I hope Wilder wins the legal battle and smashes Fury up. That would be great. That would be a good result. I would think that would be fair. Thank you very much for your comment this morning. Steve Lamont Hawkins in the building said, bonjour, big brother Martin, a.k.a. the GOAT. Thank you very much. And what's good with you? I, this morning, got in some trouble. I talked shit to the wrong person. And you know what happens when you talk shit to the wrong person? You get bit. Some fucked up shit happens to you. Because I talk so much shit on purpose. See, I learned this as a young kid watching Muhammad Ali. And you know what? If you talk enough shit, all your enemies' heads will pop out. They can't hide when you talk a lot of shit. Somebody called me arrogant yesterday, and I was like, you know what? Arrogance pulls out a lot of snakes. You know what I mean? Like, it cuts right to the chase. I'm liver than you. Nigga, please get the fuck out my face with your bullshit. Right there, see, people call that arrogance. But that's not really arrogance. That is just me telling you, nigga, you have absolutely nothing that I want, and I have a whole lot of shit that you want, and I'm not confused about it. Get the fuck out of my way. I've got some other shit to do. That shit is called being practical. Anyway, forgive me for my cussing on this fine Easter. You know what I mean? But yeah, Wilder, the Fury stuff, they're going to keep trying to sell that because that's what they have to do. Lies are part of the deal, man. You know, the illusion of the truth as opposed to the actual thing. You know, people, there are a lot of types of people that, what should I say? They're merchants. What do merchants do? They traffic in that type of bullshit. That's the word I'm looking for. There are people that traffic in that type of false bullshit that is just meant to distract you from the fact that they ain't really got shit. And, you know, you own everything, and all they're doing is counting it and trying to keep you from spending it at the end of the fucking day. Those type of bitch ass niggas, you know what I mean? That's what the haters do when you're down on that hater side of the equation. You know what I mean? That's how that goes. So they're not just brainwashed. You know what I mean? That's what they want to believe. Because if you want to believe the truth and you're looking for the truth, you'll run into it. without a doubt. So people that constantly over and over and over and over again run into the wrong shit, and over and over again, their videos suck. And over and over and over and over and over again, nobody watches their shit. But somehow, they get connected to the biggest boxing magazines in the world, despite the fact that nobody watches their shit and they suck. You know what I mean? You would almost think that that's not happenstance. You might think that that's a coordinated effort of the boxing media and the promoters. You might think, seeing as that is exactly who the writers that spread that shit rely upon for their paychecks. See, when you understand the form of an organization, you understand what has to be there in order for it to operate. So, while many people look blind at a company and call it a brand and think just because they got a patch on their fucking trunks that means you have a company, no, the fuck you don't. You have a brand. You do not have a company. You have a sole proprietorship, okay, that you would be best to file as a S corp, more than likely, for tax reasons. But other than that, that's just a way to keep you from having to pay greater taxes and acknowledge that you're in a business that is bringing money in, to the economy. So they give you a break on your taxes and allow you to write off things associated with your business, right? But if you have one person, that's a sole proprietorship, and that's no different than somebody selling loose cigarettes out on the street. Which is why I don't want to hear no shit about that black Asian shit. Because that guy that got killed for selling loose cigarettes, somebody called the fucking cops on him. And the people that called the cops on him were selling whole packs of cigarettes. So that dude died not primarily because the police killed him, primarily because the shop owner called him for some bullshit that he was doing himself, because he sells packs and cartons. They come in truckloads, motherfucker. So if somebody sells you a truckload, nigga, and you're selling a fucking carton, or worse than that, because I used to buy my mama's cigarettes in a carton, nigga, and them shits was not expensive. Regularly, go to the store, get a fucking carton of cigarettes, and buy them for my mama. And my daddy. Daddy smoked Benson and Hedges, mama smoked Salem. Granddad smoked Moores. Would go to the store and get them cartons. So I want to know why people calling the cops on the cat for selling a loose one that resulted in his death. Who owned the store? That's the fuck who's responsible for that horse shit. If a policeman comes and then there's a bunch of drama, overacting police officers should be disciplined. But primarily, the shop owner that started that horse shit over some fucking loose cigarettes, nigga, was your loose cigarettes worth this guy dying? If so, why the fuck did you call the cops? If not, why'd you call the cops? See, y'all think snitching is about some criminal protection. No. Snitching is about not putting people in a position where men with guns come asking them questions. If you consistently send people at you with guns, sometimes the guns go off. And so you get on your bitch ass phones and you call the cops and call the cops and call the cops and call the cops and call the cops. You put the cops in the way of niggas with guns. You put niggas and guns in the way with niggas with cops. And that's another fucking ploy you use to kill both. Fucking trolls. Fuck up out of my face, man. Like they said, nigga, I ain't right in the head. So everything's coming out. I'm tired of you niggas talking crazy, dumb shit. Tyson Fury, relating it back to boxing, Tyson Fury ain't even fighting Deontay Wilder, ain't even fighting Anthony Joshua. Because if he did, he'd be a fucking idiot. He'd be an idiot if he did it. But, you know, he's an idiot, so who knows? Maybe. You know what I'm saying? Certain people got Superman complexes, so maybe he's fucking Superman. I don't know. Maybe he can fucking fly, dog. Hey, what's going on, Rampage Jackson? Yeah, maybe he can fucking fly or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Tyson Fury can fucking fly. Why? Because Eddie Hearn told him, exactly, R.I.P. Eric Garner. Dead in the line of causation for the people because the guy called the cops. And you think you're a responsible citizen? If I was a judge, if I was in the city, I would definitely have punishments for calling the cops in vain. Do not call the cops in vain. If you call the cops in vain, that's your ass. That's bullshit. Because you are wasting, and I can tell you, because, dog, my mama did that shit to me. My mama did that shit to me. My mama can't stand cops. Just tell you straight. Can't stand them. Don't want them nowhere around her. Don't want them nowhere around her house. But when I was a kid, I was a fucked up nigga. I used to break in the house all the time. I used to wait till everybody was gone, or everybody would be there. And I didn't want to go through the front door. So I would jump the side fence, come around back, and I would kick the window in. Go in there, and I would bring a girl in there with me. So they're all upstairs. I'm downstairs in my room with a girl, and I broke in the house, right? So I did that shit maybe 3 times. And my mama one day, there were police out there. My mama was like, why is that window kicked in? That's what she did. She said, why is that window kicked in? I said, I don't know. Somebody broke in the house. I got some shit missing. Just made some shit up. Like, I don't know. I don't know. She's like, okay, I'm calling the police. Nigga. The police came to the house. The police came all up in the house, nigga. Guns and everything, dog. Guns and everything. Full gear, nigga. Came up in the house, dog, and started asking. And the detective, they went around, looked at the window, and they said, ma'am, they said, excuse me, can I talk to your son? They're like, is there anything you'd like to tell me about this size 12 and a half Adidas footprint on the window of your room with the shoes sitting right there? Dog, I was like, yeah, I did it. He was like, okay, thank you very much. We're going to, of course, have to put this on your record. You know that, right? I was like, what? She's like, I'm going to have to put this on your record. That's breaking and entering, young man. That's breaking and entering. You are not allowed. You were told not to come in this house. You kicked that window out. I got to note this. On your record, my mama, nigga. Now, let me ask you a question. What do you think would have happened if my mama would have called the cops on me when I was breaking in the window? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, dog, calling the cops on somebody, dog, is an act of violence, is what I'm saying, man. So, yes, dude. You know, I hear all the talk, all of that. You know, it's an act of violence, dog. Like, so anyway, I'll get into the subject matter of the video. I don't feel rushed in these conversations. Anyway, so this morning I was talking shit to my wife about niggas from Kansas City. And I was saying that I was like, niggas from Kansas City are soft. Like, I fuck with my wife is from Kansas City. You know what I mean? Mama whooped your ass. Dude, my mama is nothing to trifle with, dog. My mama is nothing to trifle with, dog. And I don't do it, nigga. She will fuck around and make my life miserable for me, dude. So no. No. Who is going to beat Fury? Karma, nigga. A dude named Karma. A dude named Karma is gonna beat Tyson Fury, homie. Somebody named Karma. It's gonna happen in the ring. It can happen outside the ring. It can happen in the ring and outside the ring, homie. But it's coming, homie. Karma's a bitch, homie. And it's coming. Like, I can't tell you when it's coming or how it's coming. But, dog, when you fuck over people too bad, dog, it's coming, dog. It ain't no way it ain't coming, dog. You ain't slipping it. Your best thing you can do. Hey, man, I need the super chats. Thank you. Talking shit is expensive on this fucking channel, dog. Trust me, nigga. Wow. The more shit that I talk and like pay attention to like what I think, the worse the super chats are. What's going on, man? Watcher in the building. But I love y'all and I appreciate it all the same. But I got to support my niggas over there on Instagram, dog. So thank you, Stephen Young. So, oh yeah, Karma's going to be at your door, dog. Are you home? Open up. You know what I'm saying? And that shit be fucked up, dude, because I've seen some Karma hit some motherfuckers real hard, dog. I'm telling you, man. Man, dog. And, you know, I know it's a concept that people may not believe in, but just assume for a second you believe in it, that in ebb and flow, whatever you put, like whatever, you know, like a pendulum, if you push the pendulum this way, it's coming back this far, right? Rhythm. I'm going to slip in the hermetic shit. Rhythm, right? Ebb and flow. As much as you push this way, it's going to come back that way. As is above, so is below. So, you fucking people over in a boxing ring, dog, so is inside as is outside. They don't tell you about that part. See, they say like the cross. Let's do a little bit symbology. However, not in the meaning that you have, in the meaning that I have, because it's the symbol reading that I'm doing, not the symbol reading that you're doing. Okay? So the symbol reading that I'm doing says that you have a central point in the middle and a line that goes above, and then a line continues below. And from that same dot, you have a line that goes right, and you have a line that goes left. And that makes a cross, right? That is what you were crucified on. The flesh of man. Crucified on the abstract of creation. And it demonstrates the concept of as is above, so is below. As on the right will be on the left. Because it all comes from that central point, the dot that rests in the cross. Mahari Nation Sports Podcast, good morning to you and happy Easter. So yes, for Easter's sake, we will sprinkle a little bit of that in here while we talk about this bullshit. Because that is some horse shit that Tyson Fury is trying to pull. My man, Mr. Quintana, said, who do you think Oscar De La Hoya is going to fight? I have a suspicion. I don't know. But I will tell you who I'd love to see him fight. I would love to see him fight Felix Trinidad rematch. I think that is the best fight that you can have for Oscar De La Hoya because it is the only unfinished fight that he has in his career. Everybody else he fought, literally, man, Mayorga's a bum. He's a bum. Mayorga is a, tough guy. But the fight that would draw interest is he and Felix Trinidad. Without a doubt. That fight need to happen, dog. Him and Tito Trinidad. Dog, that's one of my favorite fighters ever. I love Felix Trinidad, man. Love me some Felix Tito Trinidad. Love that dude. That is a left hook for your ass. Put you up out of there. You know what I mean? He destroyed Mayorga. Oh, yeah. Did he? Was that what happened? I don't recall, man. Masses of people. Oh, Ozdil, Talat, Nami. Where are you from, man? Let me know where you're from. Masses of people are developing hatreds towards ugly cheat Fury because it's obvious, sir. Because it's absolutely obvious that he cheated. And certain people think that you can just say whatever the fuck you want to people and they're just going to be dumb. No. If you have enough muscle to shove shit down people's throats and they're too pussy to say something about it, then yeah. But if not, they're going to look at the news and they're going to say you're full of horse shit. Straight up. Ryan or Fortuna? I'm picking up Ryan on that one. Ryan's power is the difference in that. Ryan Garcia's power is the difference in that. Javier Fortuna dance around, fuck around, and get loosey-goosey in there. He gets caught with that left hook, dog. He is going to go to sleep, crashing to the floor. So that is the one thing that born in Sydney, now in Cyprus. Okay, that's what's up, man. Hey, Marcos Baghdadis in this bitch. Marcos Baghdadis. My nigga Marcos Baghdadis. Hey, Marcos Baghdadis was cold, dog. Marcos Baghdadis had game, man. He wasn't the best athlete in the world, but Marcos Baghdadis, dog, loved his game, dog. Wish I could play tennis like Marcos Baghdadis. You know what I'm saying? Fannon the Maniac. What's good? Nigga changed his name, Fannon the Maniac. I like that, dog. Thank you. I'll take Fannon the Maniac because I am. That's why, that's why my career is limited. Because I'm a maniac. I know it is. I know it. I know it. I know it. That's all right, though. You just got to deal with it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, just say, for example, with the exception of that pedophilia shit, who, nigga, please, never do that shit again. Okay? With the exception of that shit, right? If you take everything you heard about me as true, that I'm crazy, right? Like that one. I'm crazy. If I ain't on here if I take a break and don't do a video for 3 days, it's because I'm in a madhouse. You know what I mean? That type shit. For real. That's the type of shit that I get. That's the type of bullshit that I got to deal with. That shit. But if you took that shit as being true, that would make me a madman. It doesn't make me wrong. Doesn't make me wrong. Mary Nation said, you still need some black gents for that gray beard, man. I know I do. I know I do, dog. I know I do. But here's the thing. I'm so fucking pretty, nigga, that doing that shit is overkill, bro. You know what I mean? These women are my vice. If I put that shit and make my shit all smooth, dog, these sweetie pie ass niggas will want to touch my face, nigga. These niggas wouldn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? So I got to keep it a little rough, dog. You know what I mean? I thought the beard would tell these niggas I'm too old for you. Because clearly these niggas want me, right? Clearly these niggas want me. So I'm like, look, sweetie pie, maybe if I grow a fucking beard, nigga, you'll know I'm 52, okay? And I'm not going to be out there partying with you, dog. You know what I'm saying? Oh, them broads said Jim Papa passed. Nah, you don't want the girls that I would get. You don't want them coming to you, dog. Trust me. You don't want that, dog. Oh, my man said Baghdadis is Greek Cypriot. Yes, sir. He said, I'm Turkish Cypriot. And your cool beard could be from around here, too. Yeah. Well, they want me to get the DNA, and, they mixed all in that area, man. But it could be from the same place that Rick Ross got his shit from. Because Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross, player ass nigga from Cali, making all them stacks. Ooh, that man was making that money. That nigga making that money. So, like, how could I hate on that, man? Like, I'm sorry, dog. Y'all turned my channel into making me look like some nigga who loves gangsters and shit. But at the same time, dog, how can you not respect the game, dog? How can you not respect the game, dog? You know what I'm saying? Exactly, dog. It ain't gray, it's platinum, homie. You know what we do. Rick Ross from Texas. Oh, is he? All right, he's from Texas, yeah. Whatever he's from, that nigga did his thing, dog. But more than likely, it is from over there, though. You know what I mean? That's where these people are from. But that nigga got that nigga, hey, dog. That's why I said, nigga, like, I'll fuck with bullshit niggas. I don't fuck with real gangsters. I keep it south of that. Usually. Unless in case of high emergency and shit. You know what I'm saying? In matters of self-defense and self-preservation, dog, of course. Of course. We must proceed. But, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, dog. Oh, he said he's from Cali. Oh, he's from Cali. Now, I thought he's from Cali. He said he's from Cali. Thought he was from Cali. Thought he was like from the Bay or something. What's going on, Amy? Amy DeRoe? Chilling, dog. Chilling. Just like the fake Rick Ross. I said, do your homework, dog. Hey, man, if you mean me, I try to do my homework, dog. Thought he was from Cali. Real smooth, dog. Real smooth, man. See, I know cats niggas now. I know some niggas now. So I know some cats. I know when you're smooth, man. I know when you're smooth now. Oh, no, the chat. That's what's up. Oh, he was born in Texas. Well, you know, I was born in Wichita, Kansas, but I'm from the shop. So you are where you're made, man. He was made in Cali, nigga. He had to be made in Cali. So he's made in Cali. That's where he's from. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Like, I was made a noob in Louisiana. So, shit, nigga, I'm from Louisiana. In that regard, you know, you are where you get made, man. And clearly that nigga's made, so, you know what I mean? What's going on, Brooklyn Loso? He said, Brooklyn, New York, we in here. That's what's up, man. Shout out to New York City, man. You know, I ain't got too big a problem with y'all. New York dudes are live, dog. Y'all just live as shit, man. That's the thing with New York dudes. Y'all are on your P's and Q's, so I like New York dudes, man. I like New York dudes. I like you. You know what I mean? Now, I will say something else, though. Y'all will leave. You do have a tendency, though, you New York dudes, to leave New York and put yourself in some difficulties outside of New York because cats from New York, outside of New York, ain't from New York. You know, oh, yeah. Yeah. New York is different. I love New York, man. I like the girls in New York. I can't lie. Those are the ones I love in New York. Oh, but let's get back on this boxing, dog. We'll get back on this boxing talk. Because I want to talk about because my mind, seriously, dude, I cannot get that shit off that shit, dude. I don't know why I'm fixated these days. Powerhouse Watson said, my mama from Queens. That's what's up, man. AZ Lord said, we all related. Oh, for sure. Without a doubt. We all family. At the end of the day, dude, we're all family. Powerhouse said, Jamaica, Queens. I never been, though. I'm a Florida boy. Oh, that's what's up, man. My sister lives at my sister's in Miami. My sister and my brother. I call this nigga my brother. He's my brother-in-law. But love the dude, man. Love the dude. And I don't like nobody that dates my sisters. Like nobody, dog. That's the golden rule. You come around me, nigga, trying to be with my sister, nigga, I don't like you. Like, I was at 6 years old, dude, like that. At least at 6 years old at the oldest. Then motherfuckers be coming knocking on the door. Hey, is she here? And I'll be like, look them in their face, say nothing. Boom, slam the door, dog. And go sit down. Slam the door and go sit down. Who's at the door? I don't know who's at the door. I don't know who's at the door. All right, she open the door, let him in, dog. They be like looking at me, and I'll be looking at them like, man, look, nigga, I know what you here for. One of you motherfuckers trying to fuck my sister, okay? I know what you here for, dog. So don't expect no friendliness around this bitch. And then I had a German Shepherd, man. We had a German Shepherd named King. Dog, that dog would let you in the house, but that dog would not let you out the house for nothing. Like, you can get in, like if somebody tried to break in our house, dog, they would come into the house. They could take whatever they want from wherever they want. My dog would look right at them. But the second they try to leave, dog, second they go for the door, dog, the dog goes bananas. Like, no, you not leaving. So they do that anyway. Anytime you try to walk out the house, dog, that dog was programmed, I don't know why, to keep you there. And the only way you get out is if I take my dog and I move my dog and let you out the door. That's how King was trained. We don't care about you coming in. Coming in, you welcome. Leaving, though, you getting a mouthful of teeth, dog. You getting a mouthful of teeth, dog, if you try to put your hand on his door and leave. So I would just not get the dog. If they want to go to the car, nigga, they gotta get past that dog, nigga. Hell no. Hell no. I love dogs, man. I'm telling you, I don't care, man. If you talk every day, dog, about boxing, man, you got to talk about other shit. So you know what it is. Hell yeah, that dog was vicious, nigga. I had another dog that was vicious, just vicious. Put like 36 stitches in a friend of mine. 36 stitches. We're playing another German Shepherd. But this one is just crazy. Just crazy, dog. Yes, that. Yeah, exactly. Oh, power back to boxing, man. Bring me back to boxing, dog. Bring me back to boxing, dog. AJ said Fury may pull a bitch move. He is a bitch move at this point in time. Tyson Fury walking down to the street to get some bubble gum is a bitch move. You're a bitch. Therefore, I define anything you do as a bitch move, nigga. You can move down. You could go do the same shit a real nigga do. And because you doing it, it's some bitch shit, nigga, when you doing it. When he does it, that's some real shit. I don't give a fuck, nigga. Once you choose by your actions to be a bitch, you a bitch. And everything you do is what a bitch does, nigga. That's why I don't want to shake your hand, nigga, because I don't want to shake my hand, no hand of no bitch, nigga. Because, nigga, that's a bitch move. You know what I'm saying? Raw logic, homie. That's why once you a bitch nigga, dog, you can't fuck with bitch niggas, dog. You can't. By very definition. Because, dude, you are what you do. You know what I'm saying? You are what you do. Once you are that, that's why I told you with Bob Arum, no fucking way. I ain't taking that money. That's a bitch move. It's a bitch move. If you roll with a bunch of bitches, nigga, every move you make is a bitch move. Until you niggas ain't bitches no more. That's why war keeps going and going and going. Give you a lesson in political science. That's why wars keep going and going and going. Because, dude, they think you're a bitch. And they're going to try to control everything you do. That's what they do. They wrote it down in their writings. I can prove it to you. That's why they bitch you. Because it's their job to bitch you. They believe, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, they believe it's Easter, so let's throw a little bit in there. The Pharisees and the Sadducees believe, in essence, that if you're a bitch nigga, you belong to them. By right. That's why they can con you and have no problem with it whatsoever. Did you not ever think, why do they steal like that? Why? We all know you motherfuckers are sticking your hands in everybody's fucking pocket, dog. Okay? We know you ain't got no money because you ain't got no fucking land. How do you have any money? You have no land, bitch. Therefore, you have no money because you have no trees and you have no paper to print it on. You have no land. So since you have no land, you have no electricity because you have no rivers, you have no gas, you have no electricity. You are broke, motherfucker, because you do not have any land. That is a true concept. So, why do bitch niggas feel it's okay? And this morning, I would call it the Pharisees and the Sadducees, the ones that the Romans washed their hands of. Pontius Pilate washed his hands. I'm not in this. We ain't having nothing to do with killing this man. If you want to kill this man, you are going to have to kill this man on your own. So what did they do? They proceeded to kill that man. I would define that as a hater, dude. And a bitch nigga move. Why did they do it? Because he had a lot of money. You all can pay attention to the allegory. Okay. Let's say something that actually makes sense. Why would Jesus be hunted from the moment he was born, since he is from the line of David, who I do believe is also of the line of Abraham, Moses, Solomon? Because, more than likely, Jesus Christ was a king. Period. A king. Born king. And he had enough money to get up out of there. And where does he go? He lives in Egypt. What does he do in Egypt? He studies with the greatest scholars known to mankind. Does some kid just running out of what was Syria, just running out of there, be able to run right into a temple where nobody can touch him for years? And he comes back, and then what does he do? Miracles. Give sight to the blind. I like this one. Turns fish, one piece of fish in bread, and feeds a whole lot of people. How do you do that? In a practical sense, your bread and your fish are so big that you can cut it up and give it to people because you're rich. Rich people do that all the time. They show up with a bunch of money, and then they start businesses. And then when they start the businesses, people sell the products, and the products money flips. You know the math. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. Boom. That is how you multiply your fish and your bread. Because your bread, as we know, is your money. That's how you do it. But you got a problem. You got the money changers. You have the people whose job it was to distribute your money. That is their job. Their job is to distribute the money that Jesus owned. His money. His money. His land means his money. Period. Point blank, period. Because you own nothing, not the air. Because guess what? You need trees to make air. If you do not own the land, you don't own the trees. If you don't own the trees, you don't own what the trees produce, which is the oxygen. You do not have water because the water is on the land and part and parcel to the land, which I own and you do not. It is the basis of feudalism, a system that has been in place, that was in place in Europe for centuries, based on the same principle that the king owns all the land. And he will appoint lords, he will appoint dukes, he will appoint everybody else to manage his land. That's why they have power. Knights get to kill people. That's why every chess piece is on the board. Because the king owns all the land. The pieces sit on the land. It's a white thing. You wouldn't understand. It is a white thing, but it's not. It's a black thing too. But that is the symbolism of the game, and connecting it to the Christian church, because that is a Christian game. And that will tell you the nature of the game that they say people are playing. Here's the thing, though. Who is actually playing the game? Who would sit down and play the game? Emperors play the game. Emperors play the game. There's no emperor on that board, is there? No, there's not. Because do you know who kings work for and are appointed for, by, and removed by? Emperors. Emperors sit above kings. Chess is a game of emperors, not a game of kings. The Roman Empire washed their hands of that. The Roman Empire washed their hands of it. Who is the Roman Empire? Important question to ask yourself in world politics. So is above, so is below. The Sadducees and the Pharisees are the enemy of the king. They are a pawn that got across the board and behave as if they are a queen that can move anywhere. But do you know what the problem is? With a pawn that names himself a queen and moves like one, when the king or the emperor did not name him such. Because when a pawn gets to the other side, it becomes what the emperor says it becomes. It could choose to keep it as a pawn. It can decide to change it to a pawn. And if, Sadducees, Pharisees, you should so happen to make it across the board, you still work for the emperor, not the king. Do you understand the game of chess or not? I say not. Jesus was murdered by pawns that rested with the enemy. Why do I say that? Because chess is a reflection of the game of emperors. Sadducees and Pharisees, in order to have a conversation with the invader, in this case, the Roman Empire, was the invader, the occupier of the land. In order to strike a bargain with the Roman Empire to kill a king, you must have made it to the other side of the board and then turned coat to something other than what the emperor wanted you to. And since we know what the emperor asked you to do, which was what? Get out of the king's pockets. It's his money. He can give it to whoever he wants, however he wants. And his law is the law. Not yours, not David's, not Abraham's, his. Christ's. Jesus Christ. No, Jesus was not killed because he didn't like money. He was killed because he did not like how his money was spent. He is running around healing the sick, healing the blind, feeding the poor. He might have asked, why are these people poor when we have so much land and so much money? And he threw them out of the church. Jesus is who we're talking about on Easter. Jesus threw them out of the church. And they went to the Roman Empire to conspire to kill him. And he had treasonous disciples with him who assisted them. And he knew it. So he had a Last Supper. And then he told them that this was going to happen. Why would he, absent of reading people's minds, know this? Because the Romans would have told him and had to wash their hands of it. That is a political story about somebody native to a land being sold out by some Uncle Toms. I have always thought of that story in that fashion. The political aspect of it cannot be denied. The miracles can be denied, but they're not necessary. It's not necessary that he actually healed the blind. It is not necessary. If I have money to pay a doctor to go help you, that is me healing you, because I used my money and my connection to the doctor to go help you. Like magic. And that is what he did. Why would 3 wise men come see him at his birth with gifts? Gifts of what? Frankincense and myrrh, right? And something else. Probably all of which is a lot of money. Here you go. Take this to Egypt. You ain't got no money problems. And his father then got a good job as a carpenter, building homes for people, for money. And he was never hungry, not a day. We could do the numerology behind it. That he was 33 years old, I do believe. Somewhere around there. 33 on 3 days. Hey, man, I love y'all too. Neely Fuller Jr. said, you need to read Rice and the chess board story. It's all about how chess was invented. All right, man, I got to do it. I got to check it out. I'll probably be able to check out a summary. I ain't that big into playing chess. What's going on? SJ Fish in the building. SJ Fish in the building. So that's that story. And when I was taught in church, and this is boxing, what's going on, Charles Young, and this is boxing, is the microcosm and the macrocosm. You are taught these lessons for a reason. We are playing the game. And some people made it across the board, and they didn't turn into what the fuck we told them to turn into. And they are now coons who are selling us out. Because they're cheating. Because they're cheating. The other team knows that they've switched. You don't get to do that in chess. You don't get to do that in chess. You don't get to decide when I'm looking this way that you get to change a piece over to yours. If I catch you doing that, you lose. You lose. And you lose every match that you've ever had. You switch my pieces. If you switch my piece, say for example, in a game of chess, that we say, let's take a break. And you say, oh, you're going to take a break? I'm going to take a break. Yeah, let's go walk to the restroom. And we over there. But I got a camera up, and I see your employee come and switch a piece. Change my night into your night. And I come back and I say, hold on, that is my piece. And you say, I don't know, no, it wasn't. Okay, really? Bring me the tape. Oh, somebody switched that piece. Who is that? Somebody switched that piece. Who is that? This game is forfeit. I win. You broke a rule. Right? So, what do the Sadducees do when they get caught breaking a rule? They hit their inside informant, who was always with them. Always with them. In order for Judas to be offered that money, somebody had to know where Judas was. Judas was offered that money because more than likely Judas had been taking that money. More than likely Judas's family had been profiting off of the previous arrangement. And Jesus was going to switch all that up. And he was just going to pay for everything. And say, I don't need this. Because what do kings need capitalism for? They don't need it. The only thing capitalism is for a king is the distribution of goods and services to his people. That is all. That's all. Other than that, they don't need money. They can operate on a handshake. Who cares? Give them the wood. Oh, you need houses? Chop those trees down. Do you know who's going to build them? Oh, no worries. My guys will build it. You good? Is that house, how would you like your house designed? No problem. There you go. What would you need to eat? Take those 15 acres. But you have to on those 15 acres, you got to grow hemp. Why hemp? Because it's for ropes. You can grow hemp and he can make the ropes. And he can then use those ropes on those boats that I have. Because I need ropes on the side of my boats. So as long as you grow hemp, I will buy your hemp. And as long as he makes the ropes, I will buy his ropes. And as long as that boat goes where I ask it to go, I will pay for the boat. And in paying for the boat, I will put ropes on it. So if it gets rocky, you can hold the ropes. And we're going to make the ropes about this thick. Because when we cross the Atlantic Ocean, that's how rocky it gets. So no worries, man. You need your house. You don't need money. And that is how John Henrik Clarke would argue that the pyramids were made. Not by slaves, but by people that weren't paid money. But just because you're not paid money, that doesn't make you a slave. Just because you have an option to earn a living in a house and take care of your kids with the money from the hemp, what problems do you have? As long as they do what they said they were going to do and pay you a fair price for your hemp and not go somewhere else where they can get the hemp for $5 less per hemp basket. Because that's easier money for the king to earn. Why does the king need to earn money? I don't, right? As the king or as the emperor, I don't need to earn the money. What I need is content people who do not want to fight and have a war. That's what I need. I don't need to be any more wealthy because wealth is only a division of the things that the king is giving you anyway. Which is why Parliament makes no sense to a responsible king. That's why the United States Senate and Congress would mean nothing to a legitimate king. Because if it was a legitimate king and he absolutely loved his people, then the people are going to get what the people need. Because the king needs the people and the people needs the king. Guess who is not needed if the king and the people are at one? Anybody between the king and the people are now optional. Move. I don't need your banks. Give me my gold and give me my bank. Your bank is on my land. Your bank is using paper. That is my paper because it came from my trees. And the water you're drinking is from my river. So give me my water out of your lungs and give me my gold. And that is what kings do. Unless you dummy up kings and have kings fighting each other. And you're counting all the fucking money. People asked me yesterday why I put Adolf Hitler high on my list. And I said, because I didn't get to say it, but my answer is he's a king. It's the only explanation that makes sense for the man. He is a king. Why would I say that he's a king or believe that he's a king? Because He was a nobody, according to them, sitting up in an art school, a mediocre artist, goes to jail, writes a book in jail, and then damn near takes over the world. How do you go from a prison cell to overturning the government like that? That's a king. Politically speaking, as a guy that has a degree in political science, those are the only offices that have the ability to do that. Or he had to be an emperor. Napoleon was an emperor, which is why there was reconciliation. And they tore all those countries up. Germany, as we know it now, was not Germany until, I do believe, the reconciliation, when an emperor named Napoleon said, this is what it will be. How could he do that if he is just somebody who's an administrator in France? No, he wouldn't be able to do that. He called himself emperor, and he proceeded to reform all of Europe. How can you do that if you are just a king? You can't. You can't move all those pieces. An emperor can take every piece off the board and completely change the game and say, we're playing diagonally now. And everybody is going to be on their own color, and they're going to move only on their own color, and they can't step on another color. So now there is no war. Every piece can move according to its own color. And I have no need for a war. Only time I need a war is when there's two kings that don't get along. So I'll just get rid of the kings. That's Alexander the Great. That's Alexander the Great. That's Napoleon. That's the difference between an emperor and a king. That's it. They don't want the rise of an emperor. Kings are okay, because if there's no emperor, then you don't really have to worry about the king. You're playing, you can act like you're the emperor and sit behind some fucking shadow and act like you're pushing buttons when you're not. The only thing you're doing is behaving as if you're the emperor. When you think you can move kings, when you think you can cut off entire sections of the world and say the Monroe Doctrine, and now we have the entire this half of the world, and you have that half of the world, but you don't have freedom to roam in your own lands, what are you doing? You are becoming the emperor. That's why they say the United States is an empire, which it is, which should lead any school of political science to what's the problem in that? The problem in that is that if the United States is an empire, then the United States must have an emperor. It's the only way you can be an empire is if you have an emperor. So the question is, who is the emperor? Period. Everybody says we have an empire. So I never hear anybody on news or any of the people that say we have an empire ever asking the question, who is the emperor of this empire? Because empires are not democratic in the least. See, what they like to call it is neo-liberalism, neo-conservatism. That's what they call it. They call it Islam. They call it all kinds of things, wherever they are differently. But it all revolves around who is the emperor. Who names the emperor? Would there be the question? Who would name the emperor? The priests name the emperor. The priests. The priests named them. No, Netanyahu is not the emperor, and nor are the Rothschilds. No way. Too limited in space. Way too limited, and they have to go to war. They are at the heads of armies. Netanyahu is someone that is behaving as if he wants to be a king. When you pervert the democratic process, you want to behave like a king. Close, AP Trader, but not the Pope. It's not the Pope. The Pope is the priest of the Roman Empire, which is the last known empire. Other than the British Empire. The British Empire broke from what? The Roman Empire. Why? Because of the increased strength of what? The Roman Catholic Church. Let me ask you a question. Go back to Jesus. Was he a king? Probably not. He was probably an emperor. He didn't have no boss, but God. So, after they killed Jesus, who was probably the emperor, killed him, they then infiltrated the church and brought an end to the Roman to the Roman Empire. And then from there, they broke off from the Orthodox churches unto the Church of England, the Protestants, the Protestants. Broke, which is why in Chicago, WASPs do not like Catholics. Don't like them, don't like them, don't like them. Will definitely discriminate against Catholics. No doubt. If you don't think so, you don't know white people. There's a rift there. And that rift is related to the shift of empires, like the Ottoman Empire. Could Jesus have been of the Ottoman Empire and of the Roman Empire and of the Egyptian Empire? Could be descended from all three where he's from. So, geographically speaking, he seems like a good candidate for an emperor from a political standpoint. Now, if you add all the magic to it, and then you say, I believe all the magic, then he's definitely an emperor. He is a sorcerer emperor, which is not something to trifle with. Even in the United States, they don't trifle with that. Because in one of the greatest speeches that you hear that they talk about, which is from Abraham Lincoln, he referred to a peculiar interest in the South. What is that? That is Louisiana, my friends. That is the peculiar interest. That's what I think. I think if you steal from people in New Orleans, you just might get Hurricane Katrina. You might have people that just blow up levees and say, okay, you're going to try to buy all our land. Great. Our land will not be worth shit because we will dump half of Lake Pontchartrain in this bitch. We built the city And we definitely will flood this motherfucker out. Now your land that you're stealing from us is worthless. If you do not believe that that is possible, please, please study your history. People will blow dams, build them and blow them in a fucking heartbeat. Why? Because it will disrupt commerce. If you disrupt commerce, then you disrupt everything for them. Because you don't need money, and they do. You don't need an accountant if there's no money. That's why they don't like communism, hate it, and want to shoot anybody that says anything about it. Why? Because if you have capitalism, you always can make a profit. Let's make a profit. Gas some fucking body up is what I think when I hear profit. Because I don't believe in the difference between the H and the F when the sound is the same. Profit and profit. I don't need your written words to confuse me. That is the same fucking word. Profit and profit. It's the same word. Who is your prophet? What man can you fucking milk his name on and make a bunch of fucking money? That's why they say, do not idolize God. Do not put him on no fucking money and then run around and say you're giving it out. Right? Because it ain't your fucking money. It makes sense after you go to school. Exactly, that's why. Let me tell you what America fears. I'm going to tell you flat out what America fears. I promise you this is what it is. Why do they care about the rise of a black messiah? And why and who would it be? I promise you, I know who it is. Or at least what type of person it would be. It would be somebody that controlled the money through the streets. That's it. If you can rule the money, if you rule the streets, I mean the people that walk on the streets. If you control the hood niggas, no joke. Anybody that can control in any fashion the streets, they control the politicians. They control the politicians. They control the government. If they control the government, then they control the businesses. Because they control the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the local police, the fire departments, the Coast Guard, the Boy Scouts, all of it. All of it. Because they control the streets. You have to walk out your house, billionaire. You have to walk out your house. You need food brought to your house. If this person controls the streets, you cannot eat. If you cannot eat, you will die. They just have to sit there and wait for you to do it. Of natural causes. Easy. So the question becomes, how do you do that? And who could do that? Somebody from Chicago can do that easily. Easily. You want to know why? Because Chicago is patterned off the Roman Empire. It's the closest living example of the Roman Empire left on the planet. Without a doubt. It is completely controlled by former citizens of the Roman Empire. The Italians, the Irish, the Slavs, the Polish, the Russians, all of them were part and parcel to the Roman Empire. That sun never set on its borders. So that tells you that all of those mafia people that you talk about are really just cohorts, and they may not remember where they came from, but that's where they come from. Sicilians are not Italians. Sicilians are Sicilians. And Sicilians don't have a border. They're located on an island, but they don't have a border because they have a job in the Roman Empire, and that is to chin check motherfuckers that fuck with the money. Period. That's the Moors' jobs. The Moors chin check motherfuckers about the money. Period. You get cute with the emperor's money, and we're going to bust your fucking head open. That is what they do. If you do not believe it, that's why I interviewed, when I asked Gary Russell what a Moor was, I was just checking to see if he knew. What is a Moor? What was their job? Why did they break? Why was there a break in Italy? Italy and Spain. Why was there that break? Oh, because some people wanted to live by the law and some other people did not. And there was a break. And when they broke, it opened them to competition. I would say it's the same competition that they had with Jesus, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, because they then are also the only people with no money. Because while you are a priest and held very highly, you have no money. You're not the banks, so you have no money. You're not the army, so you have no guns. Which means you have nothing to somebody that has those things. They will blow through you like, blow right through you. That is the thing. That's why that young kid came on my channel and was like, he says something to me like I'm a one-man army. No, you're not. Army is no less than 100,000. No less. And that's when those Southern dudes came to Chicago. And they were going to get killed. No doubt about it. If they had stayed, they would have passed away. One way or the other. It could have been in the streets. It could have been in the hospitals. They will get you in the hospitals. If they can't get you in a hospital and they can't get you on the street, they will take all your money. And you will have no jobs because nobody will do business with you at all. Because they don't want none of that smoke that is coming your fucking way. That's how it is in Chicago. That's how it was in the Roman Empire. Same way. That Chicago is older than New York. That's something other people don't know. Chicago was already here. Chicago, wild onions. It is a name from the indigenous people. And people traveled here well before the establishment of New York. New York, which means New what? New England, which is what? It is a colony of the British Empire. Chicago was not. Chicago was already here. Deerfield was already here. Springfield was already here, well before the establishment of the United States of America. And Chicago is not run by the Italians. No, it is not. It is not. It is ruled by descendants of the Roman Empire. That is who runs Chicago. If you do not believe me, go ask some fucking body. If you don't believe me, go ask an Italian why their organization is founded like that, why it is structured like that, why they say what they say, why they wear their ties that they wear. If they'll tell you, you will find that it's traced back to the Holy Roman Empire. Without a doubt, they are of the Holy Roman Empire. Largely Catholic, Irish Catholic, Italians are Catholic, Greek Orthodox churches. Greece was part of the Holy Roman Empire because the Holy Roman Empire was preceded by the Greek or the Ottoman, and before that, the Greek. See, when you understand European history, then you'll understand American history. Because American history, America is nothing but a small doppelganger, or in the words of Pythagoras, a monad for Europe. It's divided the same way. The states in the Reformation, they were divided into states, nation states. They put nations, which are families, into states and into estates. That is the move of an emperor. Emperors do those things if you understand political science. The conundrum for the United States is that it is attempting to be an empire with no emperor. And guess what happens when you have an empire with no emperor? You are nothing at all, because everybody else will bum rush you as soon as they find somebody that they can call emperor. That is the problem the United States has right now. And that is honestly, the opportunity that people have. It is the opportunity that foreign people have, is to say, you know what? No. You are behaving as an empire, and you do not have an emperor. Name the emperor, or we will name the emperor for you. Because if we don't have an emperor and we have an empire, then the kings take a vote. The kings take a vote. If the kings take a vote, do you know who wins? The military wins. Do you know why the military wins? Because the military will kill any and every fucking body that they don't agree with. Because the military has the guns. I am talking about political science, Ray Guzman. Today, instead of talking primarily boxing, because it is Easter, I thought that I would explain the politics around the death of Jesus, and then can tell people how that relates to modern day America, which is, I believe, an appropriate sermon to respect the man. More so than eating chocolate bunny rabbits. I know you like your chocolate bunny rabbits, and you love to stop them from laying their colorful eggs. However, I am not going to break down that bullshit symbolism that has absolutely nothing to do with the life of the man. So, I was raised in church, and I thought, hey, I forgot it was Easter today. Why did I forget that it is Easter today? Because I don't care anything about Easter. Not anything. Because it didn't make sense to me as a child. Sounds like we're partying about a dude being murdered. and we're eating his body, and that makes me better. He died for us. Say the people running the church that killed him. Am I missing something in the story? He came from a line of kings. He was foretold to be the King of Kings. Let me ask you a question. What position known to political scientists would be the king of kings? I just told you. But please, the emperor, thank you, Michael Lords, is the king of kings. King of kings. That's an emperor. The king heard that in his land would be born the King of Kings. In your land will be born the emperor. So says the priests, including the 3 wise men that came and gave him precedence. If somebody is foretold to be the king of kings, he is foretold to be the emperor. Who would foretell that but the priests? No one. So the priests said to the kings that the next emperor will be born in Bethlehem. And they were desperate to murder him. They were unsuccessful. King Herod was unsuccessful in murdering him. And he went to a bigger kingdom with more guns. More weapons. Somewhere that the kings could not go. Where is that? In the temple. In the temple. Where the priests had the knowledge to foretell his birth. Now, what would foretelling be? How do you foretell the birth of an emperor without resorting to magic, without resorting to fanciful prognostications? You do so by knowing their birth records. Prophet, see, JD, prophet, see. But the most likely way that you would find that is by doing their birth records and knowing who is related to who. And if somebody is related to the king of this and the king of that and the queen of this and the duke of that and the this of that, why would not he be a good candidate to be elected as the emperor? And why would he be named that? Because he has family that is related to every fucking body. So if he wants to talk to somebody, he's not going to have a beef with them because it's his cousin. Did you ever think that maybe Stalin and Hitler are related? Have you ever thought that maybe the Queen of England and the King of Monaco are related? Went to school together maybe? Hung out on islands and played on boats as kids together. Because who else are you going to hang out with other than people that can afford to go to the places that you go to and don't have the same security risks? Because guess what? The son of Joseph Stalin has a lot of fucking problems, homie, because people want him dead, because they're afraid that he may turn into Joe Stalin. And that is the same problem that the Kennedys have. They may think somebody's going to turn into Joe Kennedy. So no, we're going to get your kids. That's just history and political science. That's just history and political science. I got a good education. But yeah, dude, that's it. So in the United States, if you had somebody that could get along and was loved by all the black people, was related to Mexicans and loved by Mexicans, and that's it right there, you're done. Right there, you're done. Right there, you're done. But if you throw some Irish in there with it, you're definitely done. Why? Because if you can control Chicago, then you can control Indianapolis. You can literally take people straight out of the south side of Chicago, maybe 2,000 of them, go straight to Indianapolis, hook up with about 5,000 of them, and you will own Indianapolis that fucking day. And then say from there, after you had Indianapolis and Chicago together, you decided you're going to go to Milwaukee. And you're going to take your 7,000 that you now have straight to Milwaukee with another 5,000. You're going to have 12,000. And that day you will run that city because they don't have 12,000 police officers. They don't have it. And many of the police officers went to school with the people that they are supposed to be trying to arrest. They won't do it. You know why? Because the local people will give them a lot of money. Period. Here you go. $500,000 in cash is laying there. And call the police for something across the town. Right? And then just repeat that in D.C. and in Baltimore, Philadelphia, and in Boston. You will then walk into New York with no less than 100,000 people. If Jeff Fort, that's why Jeff Fort went to jail. And that's why Jeff Fort stays in jail. Because if Jeff Fort did that, Jeff Fort could invade New York without a problem. And that would be Chicago, the child of the Roman Empire, going right to the child of the British Empire. And that will wipe out New York City without a doubt. No doubt. Because so many of the people in New York do business with the people in Chicago. So they're going to leave it alone. And then if they do that, what do you have? You have no financial markets. Fuck DC. If you have no financial markets, because some niggas from Philly have locked that shit up with about 400,000 people. Because you know how it goes. You don't do that in one place. You come from New Orleans to Memphis to Nashville to Little Rock, and you rush New York. They won't have any money to buy elections. Where are you going to get your money from? All the big backers are Wall Street backers. Wall Street shut down. You remember in the 40s when Wall Street bankers were jumping out of windows? No, they weren't. They were getting thrown out. True history. Oh, these rich bankers were jumping out of windows. No, they were not. Why would a conscious man jump out a window because he ain't got money? No. Some nigga from Brooklyn broke the fucking window and threw his ass out of it. Because you stole my mama's money. That's what happened. That's what really happened. They didn't commit suicide. They were thrown out of windows. And since they got thrown out of windows, then the Roosevelts said, hey, they're not throwing me out of any windows. So since they're not going to be throwing me out of no windows, we are going to do some shit called the New Deal. And the New Deal, you will get the GI Bill. You will get Social Security. You will get all kind of other things. And guess what they did? They cut out black people. They were convinced to cut out black people. If they had not cut out black people, there would be no March on Washington. Why? March on what? For what reason? We all have jobs in factories. Yeah, thrown out. Thrown out of the windows. Thrown out. Because in the Great Depression, they blamed they called them robber barons. Before they were called great entrepreneurs. Guys like Carnegie, Mellon, Vanderbilt, those guys. They were blamed for the Great Depression because they were like, you're speculating on our money. And as a result, we've lost a lot of money. We're going broke. And the people in New York City were not happy. They knew exactly who did it. And they ran up in their buildings and they threw them out of windows. Because that's what niggas do when you steal all their money. That is a natural human reaction. If you steal all my money and you're sitting in a house paid for with the money that you stole from my mother, I'm going to get you out of that house. I am going to take the paperwork for that house. I am going to change the paperwork to that house. And I'm either going to move my mother in it or I'm going to sell your house. Period. And you know how I'm going to do it? I'm going to do it through eminent domain. I'm going to call the mayor and I am going to put pressure on the mayor and I'm going to put pressure on the city council to allow me to rezone your area. And when I rezone it, it's not going to be residential. And since it's not residential and you have a house there, I'm going to use eminent domain. And when I use eminent domain, I am going to give you cents on the dollar for your house. And then I am going to have the sheriffs throw you out if you act like you're staying there. That's how I'm going to throw you out of your house. I'm not going to throw you out of your house with neighborhood thugs. I'm going to throw you out of your house with the sheriff. Because we're repossessing it because we have rezoned this area. And it was passed by the city council with a unanimous vote. Because the businessmen in the area said that that would be good for business. We want this area rezoned because we believe that we could make a lot of money in this area. And I'm sorry, we're going to put a highway through this. So since we're putting a house through this, and you're right in the line, your neighborhood is right in the line of construction, for the good of the city, we're going to relocate your whole neighborhood out of the city of Chicago. Easy. 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 Al Capone could do that easy. Just to let you know, Al Capone could do that easy. Do you know who else could do that? John H. Johnson. Old man Johnson. That owned Ebony and Jet, the richest black man in America, who was in Chicago for the majority of the time that I grew up, could do that to you easy. You don't like him. He don't like you. He wants you gone. He calls daily, says, I want to rezone this area. Daly says, yes, we will rezone that neighborhood. Thank you, Mayor Daley, and you can count on me in the next election. I assure you. I will put every bit of my effort towards your reelection. Thank you, sir. And he will walk out, and within 5 years, not that day, but about 5 years, you're going to get your house bought for pennies on the dollar. And old man Johnson is going to make a lot of money off of it. That's politics, man. That's why I could tell you that Barack was going to be president. I said years before he was president, he will be president. Why is a reasonable question? Because he's in Chicago, number one. If you run Chicago, you're going to get the Midwest. If you get the Midwest, you can get the East. If you get the Midwest and you get the East, then you have the presidency. No question. Hillary Clinton is from where? Chicago. She is from Chicago. Bill Clinton is president because of Chicago. Not Arkansas, Chicago. You don't believe it? You're nuts. Ain't no weight at all in Arkansas. Relatively speaking, no muscle. You have no muscle. How are you going to get the votes if you got no muscle? Again, Jeff Fortin in jail because of that. Because of that. The Black Panthers are okay. The Peace Stone Rangers and the Vice Lords and the disciples, the people and the folks, that's something else. If you add to that the Irish and the Italians, the wasps will fly away. Remember, I'm telling you, if you combine the blacks, the Mexicans, the Irish, and the Italians, the wasps will fly away. They won't blink. You know why? Because Italians hate wasps. Irish hate wasps. Blacks hate wasps. Chinese hate wasps. And the people that count their money. So, if you want to understand why the Italians don't fuck with niggas, it's the coons. That's why. Because they will never trust you while you work for wasps. Will not happen, sorry. If you work with wasps, the Irish will not trust you, no matter what. If you fuck with wasps, the Russians will not fuck with you because you fuck with wasps. Now, the Irish may not fuck with the Russians, and the Russians may not fuck with the Irish, right? That is why the wasp flies wherever it wants to go. And that's the truth. Anybody that sees that, and anybody that has the ability to utilize that, and they're related to kings, it's a wrap. That's why white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. A wasp is a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Let me tell you what that white is. White is a catch-all phrase for Europeans used in America. Catch-all. Kind of like Hispanic is a catch-all for Latin-speaking people. Anglo-Saxons are the British. They're Saxons, right? Saxons are a group of people from that area. They're not the Vikings, right? That's Scandinavian, right? I think the Saxons are probably from the Europe, like Western Europe in that area. Before it was called Great Britain, they were the people called the Saxons, right? I had a friend named Sharon Saxon. That's her name, Sharon Saxon. She is a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. So you're an American descended from the Anglos, and you are Protestant, which means you are not Catholic. You are not Catholic. You are a member of the Church of Europe, of the UK, pretty much, right? Do you remember that fat guy that ate all the, was eating the Henry V or some shit like that? Whoever, the British king that kept killing his wives because he couldn't get a son or divorcing them. And the Pope was not going to give him a divorce. So since the Pope would not give him a divorce, he founded a church with Martin Luther. Martin Luther was the founder, I do recall, of the Protestant religion, which is Christianity without the Pope. That's what it is. Henry VIII, thank you. It is Christianity without the Pope. So what Henry VIII did was cut out the Pope, right? And then after he cuts out the Pope, what happens? They have the rise of the British Empire, because the British Empire is no longer part of the Roman Empire or the remnants of the Roman Empire. So what do? They like any emperor or people that what do you call it? Aspire to be emperor. They need a kingdom that the sun does not set on. You cannot be an emperor sitting in Great Britain. You would just be a king. So they decided that they would then go to a big monetary source of income, which is the Western Hemisphere, which they already knew was here because people were already there. But what did they do? They bring religion. They bring the Protestant religion into a port. That port turns into New York. It turns into New England when they go to war with the indigenous in that area. And after they get that area, they expanded westward. And once they got control of this large section, they then divided the South from the North. So what is French Canada, right, now has English-speaking Canada. That is how it happened. Chicago, again, was already here. already. And it never succumbed to New York. Never. And there's always been a beef between New York and Chicago because we are by and large Catholic. And we are by and large Slavic. That's why Polish do so well. That's why Adam Kwanecki would do well in Chicago. That's why Thomas Adamak did really, really well in Chicago. Because the white people in Chicago are Slavic, a lot of Slavic, right? A lot of it. A lot of German, right? A lot of Armenians, a lot of Russians, a lot of Czechoslovakians. It goes on and on with people over there, right? Not the British. And they don't like each other. And the other person that they don't like, and this is no shot at them, but that's why they don't like Jewish people. They don't like them. And the reason they don't like them is because they're the money changers for the WASPs. They're the money changers for the WASPs. That's why the Jews will say we were discriminated against. By who? They were discriminated against not by black people. They were discriminated against by WASPs. So what they do is they attach themselves to other people who have been discriminated against by WASPs in the United States. And that is black people. And what we have by and large is them being the middleman between black people's money and getting the money from the money source that is the WASPs. The richest people in America are WASPs, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, by far. They are the ones with the money. The ones that count the money are Jewish people. They count the money, right? They're accountants. That's what they do. Lawyers, that's what they do, right? By and large, they are highly educated and very efficient in real estate and very efficient in entertainment. That's their niche. It fits between the WASP and the black, which is why most black people that wind up acquiring money through entertainment get the money through Jewish partners. And then who do the Jewish partners get their money from? They communicate with the WASPs. That is what it is. And if you ever cut out the middleman, you have to cut out Jewish people because they are the middleman between the white kids, the little white kids with all the money, right? The WASPs, who are the largest population, right? Because when we say white people are 64% of the nation, well, then divide that. How many of them are Baptists? If they're Baptists, they're a Protestant. The South, by and large, is Protestant, right? They are Lutherans. They are Baptists, First Baptists and Second Baptists. They only in Louisiana do you see a large amount of Catholics, right? And who are the people that are on the opioid epidemic? That they are Protestants. They are Protestants that are by and large falling victim to that. They also are the ones that become skinheads. They're also the ones that become militants, where they have, militias. Those are the Protestants. And the Protestants, the Protestants, do not get along with the Catholics. Right? What is the wedge between Jesus and the Italians? It is the Sadducees and the Pharisees. It is the money changers. Because you need to have transactions that take place between countries. That is the problem why everybody says don't trust lawyers. They don't trust don't trust doctors. They don't trust lawyers. They don't trust accountants. Why? Because their whole job is to take the money. and handle the money as it passes from the people that have it to the people that do not. And if they stand in the way of the transition of the money by a bunch of fucking hocus pocus bullshit, then cats got problems with them. Big problems with them. And everybody has problems with them. Everybody. Everybody has problems with WASPs. Everybody. Everybody has problems with the people that get under attack and call themselves Semitic. They have that problem. And it's a problem easily remedied. Easily remedied. Do your job. Do your job. Stop fluffing the bricks. If you don't fluff the bricks so you can become a billionaire in the transaction, if you don't fluff it and you just pass it through with what you need to live taken out, there's not going to be any problem other than you're not going to be rich. And you're not going to be able to flash diamonds and shiny rocks in niggas' faces so that they do stupid shit to get it. And the stupid shit is continuing to fight with the people that they get the money from. Easy. Easy. And guess what? If the people that got the money don't give it to the people, I'm knocking on your door. And eminent domain is on the table. See, it's not about blacks and them. It's not. It's about the position of the job. I'm not saying that the people that are crooks are people that are of the Hebrew religion. I don't believe that that's it. I believe it's their job is the problem. Your job is a middleman. You are not supposed to be rich. Period. You're not supposed to be rich. You're not supposed to be in them houses. You're not. You're supposed to be living in the same size house as everybody else. You're not supposed to have $5 billion sitting there. You're not. Because if you got $5 billion sitting there, that's $5 billion that ain't moving. It's spinning around in your bank account collecting zeros. That's not your job. It's not. Your job is to distribute the materials. It is. Your job is to organize the paperwork between the company and the artist. That's it. Your job is not to angle for a larger percentage for yourself. Because you're not dancing, nigga. You're not building the house. You're not shoveling the snow. You're not building the house. You're not operating the respirator. You're not doing any of those things. You're not the person that's sick, and you're not the person that's healing them. So why the fuck are you making more money? Why are you making more money than the person that's healing them and taking money from the person that's sick? Why are you doing that? Is a reasonable question from an emperor looking down on the distribution of his money and wondering why everybody wants to fight all the time. Because that's what's going on. Everybody wants to fight all the time. Why? Over money. Why? Because people are holding back and playing with the money. Period. They're charging interest on the money. They're assigning your entire fucking life to your credit score. I mean, because what you think about a bill that I had with somebody else justifies you robbing me on interest points in your bank that has my money in it? It's my money. Why are you charging me for you to keep my money? Give me my money. But now you've made it so that I have to have it in your bank because everything is electronic. That is the problem. Everybody says money can't buy you everything. Money can get you unstressed from a lot of shit. It can. And that's the truth. If your problem is that you can't pay your rent, then money will solve that problem. But what is money? Money is a distribution of the goodwill of the nation. You eat because you're a member of the family. That's why you eat. Just like in childhood, when you're in your house, you don't wonder why you eat. You eat because your father has food and your mother has food. And it's in a refrigerator, and you pick it up and you eat a bologna fucking sandwich. And you're no longer hungry. You do that through your whole childhood. But when you get out, all of a sudden it's the wild, wild fucking West. And you got to decide between what law to break so you can eat, knowing that if you break it, you're going to put money in their bank account because you're going to go to jail because they have everything possible that you could earn money on illegal. Literally, think about it. Every way that you can make money on the street is illegal. Why? Because it's tax evasion. If you don't give the government the money, it becomes conspiracy and it becomes tax evasion. But here's the problems. Why am I paying taxes? I'm paying taxes to get basic services, the services that I need, including being able to eat. But once you no longer have me being able to eat, then I have to do what I can do to eat. And you shouldn't be able to lock me up in jail for it. Why? Because you're not living up to your end of the bargain. Your end of the bargain is that we as a unit take care of each other. And you're not taking care of me. So I have the right to go get it, nigga. That's the answer to Nipsey Hussle's question. What want to make a nigga go and get it? That will make a nigga want to go get it. Because you're telling me I have to go get it. Because I was drinking and driving. And I got pulled over. Now I have a record. And since I have a record, now I can't get hired by this person. But I still have to eat. And the only option you've given me to eat winds up with me eating food that you buy for me in a prison cell. And the same people that wrote the law are the same people that are feeding me the food in the prison cell. Sorry, no. That is illegal on the part of the people that put you there. Under that scenario, that is conspiracy and fraud. Because you did not have that there in order to punish criminals. The purpose of it is for you to enrich yourself off the profit. That is illegal. 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 Because that is unusual punishment. Cruel and unusual punishment for a crime that is non-existent. It is natural law that tells you you have to eat. Natural law. A law of God. You have to feed yourself by the law of God. And if you don't think so, do not eat and see what your body will do to your mind. After 3 days of no food, you will turn into a criminal, no doubt. Why? Because it is nature's law that you go and eat. You have to. It is nature's law that you drink water. Nature's law. Any law of man that contradicts the law of God is illegal by the law of God. And you don't own the land, God does. So if a man cannot feed himself and he takes something that somebody else doesn't even need because it's sitting there. Nobody's bought that shit for the last 2 weeks. But I got to sit out here starving or choose between starving or selling drugs or just coming up in your store? No, the people in that neighborhood will come in your store and they will take what they need to follow God's law, which is to feed themselves. And that's not illegal. It's not. Because God's law rests above man's. Unless you're saying that man is above God. No. No one says that. If you said it, you would be out of your office faster than you could blink. And I don't mean by election. I mean by snatching your ass out your office for saying that. When people know damn well that it's their stomachs, their veins, their hearts, their brains that need the food. Need it, must have it. And you are standing in the way of it. So no, you are breaking the law with your minor dictates. Like you can't sell a loose cigarette. Why not? You sold loose cigarettes. That cigarette used to be tobacco on somebody's land. And that paper used to be a tree on somebody's land. Somebody took those together, combined them with metal made from the rocks of somebody's land. Whose food is it? Who owns that? God owns that. Because only God can make it. Only God. So don't tell me that that means you can keep people from eating. You cannot. And if you're doing it, you are in violation of God's laws, as made plainly evident by your own body. And if you do not believe somebody, guess what they would do? They would prove it to you in a court. And they will say, here you go. I will prove to you that it is God's law that you must eat. By sitting you in a cell with no food and waiting for you to pray yourself into nourishment. If you can pray yourself into nourishment without my food, you win. If not, you're going to starve, or you're going to ask me for some of my food. And if you don't have money in your pocket to give me money for my food, I'm going to tell you no, according to your law, because I have nothing telling me that I have to. Because my law rests above your stomach's law. You know the stomach you got from God, just like me. Then we'll see whether or not you become a convert inside of 3 days. I will reposition your whole philosophy in 3 days of no water. Of no water. You know why? Because you can't call the police. They don't fuck with you. You know why? Because my niggas give them food. Way better than they can pay off that piddly money you pay them. What do you pay them? You cheap fuck. What'd you play a cop? 60,000? 100,000 to risk their lives running around defending your stores from a bunch of pissed off niggas that don't like them? I think they'll retire first. I think that if I own a bank, that I can hire their daughters and then they can retire. And it ain't their problem no more. Yeah, I understand you've got to protect and serve. But I have a company called Blackwater. Just imagine it. I have a company called Blackwater, officer. And what we really need is we need officers of technical acumen, impeccable character, and bravery. Because we have a large oil refinery, distillery, and refinery in Texas. And people keep breaking in the fences. We don't anticipate a lot of trouble. And trust me, you will be in a tower, very safe from anyone that would come near the borders. But for about $300,000 a year, I would love to have you in that position. And I also would love if you could recommend to me 5 or 6 of your friends to actually work the fence where the danger is. My name is Martin Koch. And my uncles are the Koch brothers. I'm sure you've heard of them. We donate money regularly to the FOP. We believe in the fraternal order of the police. And we know the danger you are in the area that you're in. The unrest is unacceptable to us. So I know that you love your office. But just understand, if you don't take this offer today, that it is there for you anytime that you need it. And on top of that, if they're just for having considered this, understand that if you ever need something from me, you just need to ask. And if I don't have it, I trust you this. Trust me, that my family does. I will put in a good word for you wherever I can. Because we appreciate your service. We're soldiers ourselves. My father was in the Navy. My grandfather was in World War I. My father's father was a merchant marine. I understand what you're going through. And I understand what the loss of you would mean to your children. And I don't want you in that scenario anymore. You've served. I know you're 35. Yeah, I know you've not been in the force long. But like I said, continue to protect and serve. I understand. But I need you where I am. I do. So just respect, and I'll talk to you whenever I see you again. And he will say, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And I'll say, hey, young man, we're family when it's all said and done. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I want to assure you that I believe that that means you. Right there is more respect that would have been given to that police officer than he ever did on his job, ever. Ever. And that is what you call an offer that you cannot refuse. Now, could you refuse it? Yes. You could go back to working in the most dangerous spot on the planet for nothing. Or you could come to work for somebody that appreciates you, overpays you, and will give you opportunity for growth and a way to safely raise your children. What's the problem? That's the Roman Empire. If you don't think that's the Roman Empire, you have never read Machiavelli. You say you've read Art of War. You say you've read it. You might have read every word of it, but you don't understand, dog. That is for them, where they are. What it is for us is trains, planes, and automobiles. We're playing Monopoly. Period. I'm going around the board and I'm going to buy everything I can afford. And when I can afford it, that's my piece of land. If you land on it, you're paying me. If you cannot pay me, I will take a piece of your property in exchange for allowing you to pass by my block. And I may start at Baltic, little purple piece of lot, not worth nothing. But guess what? You get $200 every time you go by it. Every time you go by it, it's $200, and then you land, you get $5 or $10. But guess what? Get your hand a couple of railroads. You get 4 railroads every time there's a chance you get paid anytime somebody gets on that block. You get the utilities. They're going to have to pay you multiple times on that too. If you get Boardwalk, you sell Boardwalk for Pennsylvania Avenue and that green shit in the middle. Every time. If I get Boardwalk, Boardwalk is going to get me probably a whole side of the fucking board. Because some dummy is not going to realize the chances of you landing on Boardwalk ain't any better than you landing on Baltic or Mediterranean. You may get a lot more when you land there, but guess what? If I got that whole stretch of block, right, from go to jail, and I got everything from jail down to that other corner, and I got 2 blocks, I got a monopoly over there on when you turn left again, the third left. What do I care that you got Park Place? I'm going to drive everybody else broke. And you're going to pay me every single fucking time. And then you're going to cut a deal with me at the end where I'm going to take Boardwalk and Park Place back from you because you quit the game. Period. The only way you're going to beat me is if you steal from the bank. It's the only way. You're going to have to steal from the bank, which is part of the game. You're going to steal from the bank. When I own all this shit, you're going to have to steal from the bank. So when I look at you steal from the bank, then you're going to not only lose this game, you're going to forfeit every other game you've ever played, and you'll never get back on this board again because you stole from the bank. And that's what people do to keep floating. They ask for breaks, and then they stick their hands in the bank. And they take public money and act like it's theirs. And they do that on public partner privateships all the time. Public-private partnerships. They stick their hands in the community bank, buy something, and then keep the profits and stick the cost with the bank. All that is in Monopoly, sticking your hand in the bank. If you stick your hand in the bank, you're cheating. And that's what they do. And that's why people wanted them gone. And nobody ever talks about that. Nobody ever talks about that. Whenever somebody says, what the fuck was all that shit in Germany about? Nobody ever asks why. Yeah, I know he's a fucked up dude, and I know he wanted to do fucked up shit, and he's a terrible person and an idiot and horrible. But what I want to know is, why was this nut job, maniac idiot, able to convince all of these people to do it? Why? In school, you're not even allowed to ask that question. Why? Why did he want to do it? Oh, you're a terrible person. Want to know why? No, I'm not. I just want to know what I'm not supposed to do. Because I know that I don't want people sticking me in an oven. I don't. That's an oven, and I don't want to be in it. So since there are people in this world that will put you in an oven, I want to know why these people want to put you in an oven. And I think I got the answer. You're fucking with their money. One way or the other, you're fucking with their money. It's the only thing that I know that will universally have everybody wanting to put you in a fucking oven. You're stealing their money. If you steal their money, that's going to be their reaction to it. Wouldn't it be yours? Like, say there was some nigga walking around the block, right? And he just could walk in everybody's house and take money out of their houses. And he's standing in the middle of the street with everybody's money. And everybody knows he has that money. But everybody else hates each other. And they're glad that he stole the money from everybody else, except they don't like the fact that they stole the money from them, right? So the guy in the middle of the street has all the money, but can rest assured that ain't nobody coming for him because they all hate each other. And they're all really glad that I'm stealing their money. But what happens if the only reason goes away? That they're so broke that they're like, God damn, nigga, we got nothing. And this dude has every fucking thing. We have nothing. We are living like shit. And he has everything. I'm not mad at you anymore, okay? We can get mad at each other later, dude. We got to go get our fucking money, okay? Well, I'm sorry. Fucking Diego. Sorry, Diego. Look, bro. I know you don't like me. I don't like you. But nigga, you broke. And so am I. Okay? And my man over there, I know you don't like Mike Hennigan. I know you don't like Hennigan. Hennigan's a fucked up nigga. I know you don't like Hennigan. All right? And I know you don't fuck with Rubinsky. Okay? I know you don't fuck with Rubinsky. But look, dude, Rubinsky is fucking broke. From his vantage point, he's like, what's happening to all my fucking money? He's like, what's happening to all my fucking money? You asking what's going on with your money, and I'm wanting to know what's going on with my money, and that nigga standing over there with all the goddamn money. Why are we fighting each other over the portions of money that he's given us? No, let's go beat this nigga up and take the fucking money. And after we got the money, then we can figure out what we do with the money. I don't even care, nigga. Rubinsky, get the money. Oh, what do we care? Oh, Rubinsky, get the money. I don't give a fuck why, because Rubinsky's got the guns. That's why. Rubinsky, go get that money. I'm not going to get that money. What I'm going to do is sit here while Rubinsky gets that money. Because that nigga don't want to fuck with Rubinsky. He don't fuck with Rubinsky. Rubinsky will fold that nigga. Okay? All Rubinsky got to know is that that's the nigga taking Rubinsky's money and not taking and we ain't taking Rubinsky's money. Then Rubinsky will handle that. Straight up. And in real life, it's like this. Putin will handle that. No. Putin will handle that. Just fuck it. No, Putin will handle that. What we just got to do is just not fuck with Putin. That's it. Truth be told. All we got to do is not fuck with Putin and not fuck with Ching Chong. Right? And I said Ching Chong, that's going to sound disrespectful, right? But that's what you niggas be calling him. Some nigga you would call Ching Chong. That nigga, Kim Jong, got guns, homie. You know what I'm saying? So it goes back to my analogy that I talked about yesterday with why I pledged a Peace Stone Ranger, right? Because I know cats and nationals don't really fuck with us. So I'm like, look, dude, I don't need some nigga that's just gonna walk around and want to be the next superstar. I want a cat that is in the ghetto trying to get out of it. Who, if they become a post office, if they run a post office, they feel like, nigga, I made it out, nigga. I'm fucking running a post office, nigga. What you talking about? You know what I mean? Putin and Ching Chong, you know what I'm saying? And Cheech and Chong. Yeah, dude. See, that's how we used to get them niggas. And that's why and I'm telling you, we ran this shit in miniature. This shit's already been run in miniature. Because in, what do you call it? Bacon's Rebellion, that's exactly what happened. It was the blacks, the Irish, and the Scottish that got together and rebelled against the WASPs. And the WASP would have lost because of the natives. They had no protection from the natives. By the way, some of them natives would be natives from Chicago, right? Some native from Illinois who know damn well how to get over there, you know what I'm saying? Who are already here, but whatever. We'll act like nobody was here, even though everybody knows there were already cities here, but whatever. You know, the natives with that bullshit. You in trouble, dog. If the blacks, the Irish, and the Scots break from you and all you have is the WASPs, that's all you have, you're going to be done. There's no westward expansion. You're not even going to hold on to Virginia. You won't hold on to Virginia. You damn sure ain't holding on to that. You ain't not going to hold on to that shit. You're not. So what do? They give the rights of an Englishman to the Scots and the Irish. The British and the Scots and the Irish, who were enemies, became friends because the UK, the British guys said, look, man, we'll cut you in. We'll cut you in. So what did it? That cut them in. That was the beginning of the Irish mob, the Italian mob, all of that shit was them breaking off the underbelly to them and saying, you'll take this, you take that. I'm above the line, you're below the line. We'll own the big major corporations. We'll be the names. We'll own the ships. But what you'll do is you have all the gambling. You'll have all the prostitution. You'll have all the things that our church says we can't have. They are Calvinists, and they believe in living off the land. They don't believe in, you know what I mean? They're that type of dude. Where those other guys were not those type of people. So they say you can have the things that we don't want. We don't want gambling. That's against God's will. So we don't want gambling. Okay, you take gambling. We don't drink. We believe in purity of body and mind. So you take the liquor. You take the liquor, right? You take the gambling, you take the liquor. Once you take the gambling and you take the liquor, then you have a ton of money because you have trucks now, right? You now have trucks. You now have buildings to hold them in, right? And what was their money made off of? Protection, right? Which is what? You have a business. That means nobody from another neighborhood can walk in and just take stuff out your store. So they funded their protection with the liquor and the gambling. But why? Because that was all that was left to them. Later on, what happens? They cut in the blacks. They cut in black people. They cut in free people of color from Louisiana, and they cut in slaves. They cut them in. Why? Because there's so many black people that you can make money and sell into that community. And that's why the founders of our community are criminals, and why we still have so many problems with going to jail all the time, because they made illegal everything we want to do. If we like weed, it's illegal. If we like hoodies, it will become illegal. If we like gambling, it will become illegal. If some black kid finds out a way to get high by mixing up legal things, right? A pill from the pharmacy, right? A cold pill, what else is it? Some sleeping medicine, some NyQuil, and some fucking pop. Stir it around and catch a buzz. That's now illegal. And they now put all that shit behind the case. Why? Because that means you don't have to buy their beer. So, you think you're going to get around buying our beer? Well, we're just going to take the key ingredients that you need to make yours, and we're going to make it a Class A felony to use it. And that's the truth. It's only illegal because they want to make money off of it. It's only illegal because they don't want you to make money off of it. That's it. If they were to prescribe to you something, right? Take this scenario. Say you're bipolar, right? And you have problems with your mood swinging back and forth, right? You get really mad, then you get really happy. Then you get really mad, then you get really happy. And you're having a very hard time balancing that. Now, say somebody, like your grandmama said, here, have a hot toddy. This is some apple juice with a little whiskey in it. Drink that. Now, I want you to light this plant on fire, and I want you to stick your nose over it and inhale. Your body will come back to central. Right? And it will. Now, talk to me. Tell me what your problem is. Are you mad? You sure you're mad? Or are you just embarrassed? I'm a little bit embarrassed. Really? So do you think that because what should you do about your embarrassment? Oh, well, I really just shouldn't give a fuck. Exactly. If you just don't give a fuck, why would you be embarrassed? You're only embarrassed if you care what the other people think and you put value in their opinion. If you do not do that, then you will not feel any guilt and you will not feel any embarrassment, because embarrassment is followed by guilt, because you were embarrassed about what you did and now you feel guilty because everybody know you did it. But guess what? If you don't care what any of them think, you're not going to be self-conscious, you're not going to be embarrassed, and you're not going to feel any guilt. Which is what? The only weapons broke niggas have. Which is why I'm telling you, again, they're broke because they are middlemen. And the day the WASPs fire them and niggas stop working with them will be the day they are broke as fuck for real. You cannot be a sports agent if niggas don't sign with you. Can't be one. You can't be a sports agent or a sports program if the networks won't buy your show because you've been blackballed. If you blackball them, they can't do anything. Guess what happens if you try to blackball WASPs? You can't blackball WASPs. They've got all the fucking money. And they've got a lot of guns. So they can always fly their happy ass back to Europe and sit there with their money and with their guns. And you will not be able to do shit to them because they broke the fuck out. But if you're broke and you have no country to go to and no money to get you there, you are going to sit your ass right where you are and hope your money can stop a locksmith from opening your front door and evicting you because some nigga lit off something called eminent domain on you. That's the game, my friends. That's the game. We sit around and talk about black folk getting shot by cops, which is very important. I think another question could be is, why do not police officers have a better relationship with black people? We don't pay them the money. That is why. If we were their main source of income, they would like us a lot. It's just a fact. So what do you need to do? You need to get niggas the fuck out of your pockets immediately. If you want police officers to treat people in your neighborhoods better, throw the shop owners out. Throw the shop owners out. If you throw the shop owners out, who's going to call the police? Nobody. Nobody. Because you threw the shop owners out. Who throws the shop owners out? The aldermen throw out the shop owners. Why? Because the mayor is okay with the aldermen throwing the shop owners out. And when you throw the shop owners out, the police officers don't get called as much. Nobody ringing the phone in their ear every 5 minutes with a lie. Because one thing that we forget about police officers is that a lot of people lie to them. It's just the truth. They get lied to a lot. A lot. A lot. But money talks and bullshit walks. If you own the shops, then their children can get jobs from you. Can't they? Do you hire any cops' kids to your businesses? Do you ask the cops to come and speak at your schools? No. The police officers are, because the main money earners in those communities are not from those communities. They are subject to, at their best, constant harassment from wealthy residents in that area. Wealthy people vote. Since they vote, they have say-so over who the mayor is. If they have say-so who the mayor is, they have say-so over who the chief of police is. If you have say-so over the chief of police, then you have say-so over the police. And in that case, your neighborhood will be policed like your neighborhood would like to be policed. If they are the ones that have the say-so, then you're going to get a police chief that does what a mayor thinks, that doesn't think you got elected by you. Because politicians serve the people that actually elect them. Everybody thinks it's crooked. It's really not. It's just common sense. It's just common sense. It's nothing special about it. But understand that's why they keep a plug on black people so tight. So tight. Because black people are the only ones that have the ability to pull this shit off. Truthfully, we're the only ones with enough street credibility in the United States to pull that shit off. We are. We're in every community. We get along with white people. We get along with Mexicans. We get along with everybody. We do. By and large, they all listen to our music. They eat our food. They laugh at our jokes. We're their favorite comedians. We're their favorite athletes. They thought enough of us to elect a president. They can't help it. They can't hate us that bad when they're laughing with us all the time and singing with us all the time and dancing with us all the time, trying to have sex with us all the time. I mean, I know we got beef, but dog, don't act like white women don't like black men. They do. And Mexicans and blacks don't get along pretty much in every neighborhood, because we do. We have very little friction that is not directly associated with money. The only time Mexicans and blacks beef is over money. Other than that, you do your shit, we do ours. Them fucking tamales are the fucking bomb. Let me get some of them shits. You know what I'm saying? Let me get some of them shits. That is how we interact with one another. We don't have beef. And on top of it, we relate better with each other than we do with white people. Easily. Mexicans and blacks get along better and more easily with each other than they do with white people. And that's a fact. But the problem is that black people and Mexicans don't understand white people. Don't understand white people. So since you don't understand white people, you don't know how to deal with them effectively. Because we all keep calling them white people. But we don't ever think, no, that guy is Italian. And that guy is Greek. Latinos, bro, I'm going to say what I say, nigga. I'm saying Mexicans. I'm not saying Hispanics or Latinos. I mean Mexicans. We don't need Latinos. We don't. There's not enough of you. Straight up, we need Mexicans. It's called Mexico. Straight up. Every Dominican, Puerto Rican, Cuban can go back to there, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. You can literally sit down and do nothing. There's not enough of you to make a difference. If you combine Mexicans and blacks, that's it. Because I guarantee you 90% of what you call Latinos in America are Mexicans. 90% are Mexicans. So why don't I just say, give me the 90% called Mexicans, give me the black folk, which is another 70 million probably, 80 million, and I'm good. What else do I need? Who in the world is fucking with a nigga that is cool with 70 million Mexicans and 65 million niggas? Nobody. You know what I'm saying is the answer to that one. Nobody is the answer to that, dog. You couldn't lock a nigga up in a prison in that scenario. Because you know why? Because the Ku Klux Klan comes with that. Easy. Because if you got the Mexicans and the black, you got the Klan. Easy. Because all you got to say is, Klan, we're not coming by where you are no more. Take that shit, we out. Oh, okay, cool. I get my shit. Yeah, no problems. What do I got to do? You know, we don't like coons. We don't like coons, Klan. What you mean you don't like coons? Dude, I'm telling you, I talk to a Klan nigga like that. Like, look, dog, we don't fuck with Uncle Tom's, dog. You don't fuck with niggas, I know that. You hate me because I'm a nigga. I know this. But I don't like these coons. And they niggas too. So, how about we cut a deal? You don't kill no real niggas, and the only ones you fuck with are bitch niggas. And if you so happen to catch a bitch nigga, then, you know, swing away, nigga. Swing away. We'll send flowers to his funeral. See, even the Klan got uses. Even the Klan got a use. They don't like bitch niggas at all. Because they don't like niggas at all. So, since you don't like niggas at all, and I don't want you fucking with me, how about we section off a specific group of niggas for you to fuck with freely? And they're accountants and lawyers and doctors. They're got a lot of money. They like to march on you. You know what I mean? They're like Atlanta niggas that like to march on you. Like to, you know, talk a lot of shit in Georgia. How about that? Them niggas. See, I'm in fantasy world here. I appreciate you guys allowing me to be in my political science fantasy world. But in my fantasy world, I would just feed Atlanta to the clown. I would just feed all them Uncle Toms in Atlanta to the Klan. You wouldn't have a fucking problem tomorrow. Be like, yeah, take Andrew Young. Take all them niggas that marched all through Selma. You can have them. Because once they got in power, they fucked us all over anyway. What have they done for us since they marched on that, since they had all them fucking marches? I don't see shit. I see they're rich. I don't see shit else though. So I would say, hey dog, how about we strike a bargain? How about we strike a bargain, Clan? If you decide, and this is all fantasy, if you so decide that there may have been some Negro that passed by a town and he didn't have his ID, and something was just so happened to happen to that nigga because he didn't have his ID, and he talked some crazy shit to somebody, and shit happens. What if you just tell me before it happens so we can verify whether or not we should send a car for him or not? Because if he's somebody that, he's just lost and we'll just send a car for him. And matter of fact, we'll just send you some money and you can give him some money and just send him on his way. And just say, all right, man, no problems. Have a good day. Right? But if you so happen to investigate this man and he is not who he is, then, I suggest alligators, nigga. I suggest alligators, nigga, or crocodiles. Which do they have? Alligators or crocodiles? I vote for the crocodile. Dog, I'm just joking, man. I'm in my Al Capone joke mode, dog. I'm just in joke mode, nigga. This ain't real, man. I just want to talk boxing, dog. I got videos to do, but I was like, let me just have some fun so y'all can see the side of me when I just sit around and have a lot of fun, dog. And that to me is fun, for real. Like, because there's just so. Nate Showman said, you don't know anything but speculations and you look crazy. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for your bitch ass input, nigga. You would be one of them niggas that was get fed to the alligators. You gonna get fed to an alligator, nigga. Like, you would be the one. See, just like that, dog. Just like that, dog. See, in a world where, jerks get what's coming to them quick, he would get something. Because there's no reason to just, to insult me like that, man. I'm just having fun, dog. I can't have fun. I work hard every day. I can't have fun. I can't joke about politics and joke about sociology and joke about religion. And it's Easter, man. It's Easter. It's Easter. I should be able to have fun, dog. I should be able to have fun. What did he say? A Spanish song about killing them a Spanish song about killing them, then what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm not sure what that is. Dude, I'm just having fun. Don't take me too seriously, man. There's no such thing as emperors, okay? There's no such thing as emperors. Those ceased to exist long ago, okay? I know. I understand. It's just me. And he said to the moat, drag his ass to the moat, nigga. Throw his ass in that motherfucking moat, dog. No. Throw him in the moat, dog. Oh, God, man. Oh, AZ Lord said they want the weak to live on. Hey, dog, look, dog. That nigga said release the hounds. I swear, dude, in another life, dog. In another life, dog, I swear to God, I want one, dog. I do. I so bad, dog. One in my next life want to come back as an emperor, dog. I swear to God. See that at the end of it, dude, that's really what I dream of, man. I dream that in my next lifestyle, my next lifetime, I come back as an emperor, nigga, so I can throw motherfuckers in moats. Dog, to be a nigga that you can sit there and talk to and you be blah, 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 blah. Can you imagine having the power, dog, to sit there and a motherfucker just doing this shit to you? Blah, 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 give me some money. Blah, blah. Blah, 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 I need more money. Blah, 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 give me some more money. Blah, 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 we're running out of money. Hold on, nigga. You give me one more motherfucking blah, 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 nigga, and I'm throwing you in the moat, nigga. Because if you ain't got enough money, nigga, make it enough. You know what I'm saying? You keep asking me for money, dog, I'm throwing you in the moat, nigga. Because obviously you ain't doing your job, nigga. We got all the money in the world, homie. We got all the plants, nigga. We got all the rocks. We got everything. We got everything we need. The sun does not set on our kingdom, homie. What are you talking about? Money problems, Holmes. What? This is an Easter special, nigga. This is an Eastern special. This is an Easter special, dog. This is an Easter special, dog. Fannon, I just found a new friend. That's what's up, man. Exact said, with great power comes great responsibility, and you have to use it. See, Jason, that's the thing. With great power comes great responsibility. So if you have the responsibility, it is your job to do that shit. So think, if somebody was an emperor, their job would be to handle shit and to be like, look, dog, get your ass in that motherfucking moat, homie. Get your ass to that motherfucking moat, okay? Because you are fucking up the money, okay? And we always know the slick nigga has the money. And do you know why that is? You know why that is? Because the niggas with the guns have too much shit to do than fucking with the money, right? Your military don't fuck with the money. Your military is on rations. Your money, they're on, they have everything paid for, okay? So they don't take care of the money. The people are too busy working. So they're doing their jobs all the time. They don't have a time to distribute the money. The kings, they can't distribute the money because if they distribute the money, anytime you breathe on them, somebody's going to get killed. Every time, dog. If you have some king walking in there dealing with money and handing you money, do you know what's going to happen? You're going to say some smart shit to that king, and that king is going to have your head chopped off right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on. What did you say? Decapitate him. That's why you can't do that with a king, because a king will fuck around and decapitate you. Will fuck around and decapitate you if they're in a bad mood. That is well known. So you cannot have the guy who is already sick of niggas asking him for money all the time, listening to you ask this nigga for money, and then when he gives you the money, you to complain about the money. So what is he going to do? He's going to get somebody to go deal with you with the money. And what do they need to do? They need to know how to count. They need to know how to write, and that's it. So they know how to count. They know how to write. So they write, and they write checks, right? They write a check, a little piece of paper that you can take and say, hey, whenever you get this bread, give him this coin. He'll take that coin, and he'll bring that coin back to me. Or he can move that coin around, and you guys can sell each other with that coin. But we do need a little money, right? So give a little bit of money to the community. And that's called a tax, right? That's the whole thing. That's the whole need for the whole thing. So what they are is middlemen that are really only there by decree of the king. That's it. They're there by decree of the king. If the king don't want them there, you got to leave. And guess what? Since the king is there by the decree of the people, right? Because it's a two-way partnership. You have the king and you got the people. The people will flip that king without a problem. If all the people say flip the king is going to get flipped. So the job of the king is to make sure that the people do not turn around and flip his ass. And what will happen oftentimes is the middlemen with the money will play the people against the king and try to convince the people by fucking with the king's money and preventing the king's money from making it to the people. They will try to convince the people to turn over the king. And when the people turn over the king, then they will be there handing out the money. And they will, in essence, replace the king with the money. And that is what has happened to the monarchies in Europe. Because the kings got fucked over because they let middlemen get their hands on too much fucking money and too many guns. And that was called the fucking colonies. Since UK fucked around and had some colony with more money and more guns, as soon as they realized they had more money and more guns, they flipped on them. Right? And here we sit in a flipped over nation with no emperor and a great amount of discord all through it. Right? Which is why people can walk right up to the Capitol and snatch congressmen right out. Because that is what happened, isn't it? Didn't some people just walk right up to the Capitol, walk straight up in it, sit right down on them people's chairs, and act like they owned the fucking place? That's what they did. How can you do that if your shit is in order? It is not in order. The Vatican beheaded theorists that claimed the earth was flat. The Ottoman Sultan saved those theorists and supplied scholarships. Yep. Battles of emperors. Battle of emperors. The Roman Empire, Jesuit Jews, no. The Roman Empire is not Jesuit Jews. The Jesuits are the Jesuits, period. The Jesuits are not the Roman Empire. The Jesuits are the Jesuits, and they are not to be trifled with at all. At all. Very dangerous institution, for sure. Absolutely. However, there's a lot of thieves in the world, dog. So sneaky niggas do sneaky nigga shit. However, if it winds up that the sneaky shit works for the better of the actual goal, then it is what it is. The Jesuits do what the Jesuits do. You know what I mean? They do what they do. They can't blind you to what you do, though. And what you do is the most important part. I personally do not fuck with Jesuits. Don't say anything bad about Jesuits because my people went to Jesuit schools. So the Jesuits were responsible for the education of a lot of my friends. So I've known Jesuit priests. I know of the reputation of the Jesuits. However, you know what it is. I don't criticize what I don't understand. And I don't understand the Jesuits well enough to say that they are just completely nefarious in purpose. You know what I mean? I just don't know that. But I have, without a doubt, heard that. And you know what it is. I'm from Chicago, homie. Loyola is in Chicago. What can I do? You know? They're part of Chicago. Jesuits are heavy in Chicago. So, you know, like I said, things close to me and things that are not foreign to me. I got married in a Jesuit church. Got married in Kansas City in a Catholic church. Definitely related to the Jesuits. So, I understand that. Ignatius Loyola founded the Jesuits to resurrect the Roman Empire. That could be reasonable. But I don't fuck with the Jesuits, and I'm going to tell you why I don't fuck with the Jesuits. Like, I don't fuck with them in a bad way. It's because I don't feel that off them. Too many Jesuit priests have been too close to me for me to be like, and I've never got a bad feeling off them. I just haven't. And I kind of judge it by that, And that I may be wrong, but, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But look, man, thank you guys for talking to me in another long weekend live stream. I'm definitely going to be back to boxing tomorrow. I just wanted to take a little bit of a break from boxing, really. But at the same time, not let you guys think I was taking a break from you, right? Because if I didn't do a video over 3 days or something, then all kind of cats are going to act. Yeah, Jesuits don't play, dog. And I respect that from Jesuits, that they don't play. You know what I mean? I respect the Jesuits. And I would never, you know what I mean? Even like the conversation about Jewish people. I respect Jewish people. I absolutely do. At the same time, I do understand the conundrum that they're in, And sometimes when you're in a bad spot, you need to look for a way out of a bad spot in a way that doesn't make your problems worse. And what I see is, and this is not a chastisement of any people, is that I don't believe that they're handling their problem the right way. I don't think that their problem is solved by having their own homeland. I do not believe that. Don't believe it. I don't believe that I'm not saying I don't think they deserve it, but I'm saying I don't think that's going to solve your problem. Because if you have your own homeland and you're in where you want it to be, then we're going to be at war forever. We're just going to be at war forever. And people in the world don't want to be at war forever. Sorry. There's a lot of money that goes through that area, right? Through the Suez Canal, through the Mediterranean Sea. You're not going to be, dude, people are not, that's a drama for people, dude. Because it makes it hard for people to earn money and bring things from the west to the east. So that's a geopolitical problem that you have by going there. And the people that are there don't want you there to boot. So if you're causing a problem by going there, and you're causing a problem by staying there, then you should probably find somewhere else to go. And that is not your own land, because all land is already accounted for. Sorry, we've got it all covered. When they said that the sun never set on the Roman Empire, if it never set, then it's settled. There's nowhere else to go. The only option is to integrate with other people and live with them according to their laws without trying to put your say-so on top of everything. And that's the truth. I have a lot of respect for Jewish people. But one thing that irritates me and irritated me greatly during my education was that every time I wanted to hear somebody speak, I had to that was controversial or that they didn't agree with, I have to fight through a barricade of them screaming at me for me to be able to hear the guy. And a case in point was Khalid Muhammad. When he was at Dillard or when he's at Howard, I have to fight through a sea of people yelling at me, telling me what a bad person I am for listening to him. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck is this? Get the fuck out of my face. If he's a bad guy, I'm going to hear it in his voice. He's going to say something that I'm not going to agree with, and then I'm going to walk out and I'm going to say that guy's an asshole. And that's all it's going to be. But if the guy goes in there and he says something that makes sense to me, then I'm going to say it made sense to me. If he says something that makes sense to me and something that doesn't make sense to me, then I'm going to say that makes sense and that doesn't. But I don't need you babysitting my mind. Sorry, stop censoring me. Stop trying to censor them. They don't fuck with you, and they want people to know they don't fuck with you. It is not your right to shut people up that say they don't fuck with you. It's not. You don't get to tell them to shut up and then blast at everybody around them that listens to them. They are American citizens. It's in the Constitution. Sorry. Get the fuck out of my face. And here's the boot. When I was growing up around them, do you know who the biggest weakling in the bunch always was? It was always them. They were always the biggest weakling in the bunch. I hung out with Italians. I hung out with Jewish people. I hung out with Eastern Europeans. I hung out with British people. I grew up around white people. And I'm telling you, the one group that never made a peep when shit went down was them. They're not joining you in a fight, and they're not going to start a fight with you, number one. Quiet as a church mouse. Will never start a fight with you unless you're alone. If you're alone, in my experience, they will start a fight with you when you're alone. But if you are with three people, they will not say a thing. And whenever Italians come around, they leave. No joke. Whenever Italians come around, specifically Sicilians, they leave. They want no fucking smoke. When the Irish come around, they leave. They want no smoke at all. When more than 5 niggas show up, they want no smoke at all. Go match that to your neighborhoods and tell me if you see something consistent. They only want smoke when they have partners. They want smoke with Italians when they have niggas. When they have niggas to support them, then they'll beef with Italians. But if they don't have no niggas supporting them, they're not beefing with the Italians. That is my understanding of it from my personal experience in street fights. They won't. They will, if they're with Mexicans, what they'll do is they'll speak Spanish. You won't know. You'll know that they are that, but they'll speak Spanish. And they will ride on you with Mexicans. But if it's just them, nothing. It's just what it is. And if you don't believe me, look at the nature of Europe. Where is their country? Where is their country? Where is their back? Right? I know for certain that Italian dude, a lot of them don't care about putting you somewhere because they can go back to Italy. The guys, the Vietnamese guys, the ones that chop these guys' hands with those machetes, they're not in the country anymore. Right after that happened, I guarantee you, dog, they were on a plane back to Vietnam. Right away. They didn't commit that crime. Very heinous crime, by the way. Very, very, very heinous crime. Heinous. Never got arrested for it. Because by the time anybody knew about it, they were already back in Vietnam. That's how they'll do you. Same thing with the Polish. If you got a problem with a Polish dude and it goes wrong and you're like, oh, that's the Polish guy, they'll be like, what Polish guy? He's in Poland. Extradite him. Right? The only place that they have to go is back to Israel, which is tenuous at best because most of them probably don't even want to go there. Why do you want to go where there's a big war? Really? It's not a great vacation spot. It's not safe. I would not go. No way. Why would I go when I know that it's surrounded by people that, if they had the ability, would blow it up? No, thank you, dude. You know? Yeah, you missed it. But look, I'm out of here, man. Much love to everybody in the chat, everybody in the super chat. No, man, we were talking politics today, dog. Today was a politics day because that's what I wanted to talk about, man. You know? Anyway, it is what it is. Exactly. Everybody's tough when they got a gang around them. Everybody's tough when they get a gang around them. Because guess what? When you have a gang around you, you are tough. No joke. You niggas act like that's some bullshit. Like, oh, you're a bad guy. No, I'm not a bad guy. When I have 50 people with me, I am a bad guy. No doubt about it. Because if 50 people will do what I want them to do, and you're just one, I'm a bad man and you're not. That's how that works. Period. That's why people have armies. Same's like, look, let me tell you, Sean Gibbons. You can go away, homeboy, and not come back, okay? You can go away and not come back. Because my number stayed consistent for 3 hours. Do you know what that means? That means the people that always come to my show are still here. And do not leave when I talk about this for a long period of time. And I do that on purpose because I want you out of my face if you're not a real supporter. If you're not a real supporter of my channel, there's no way you're going to make it through this conversation. I did not ask for super chats today at all. I respect the super chats. I didn't read them. I'll be back to reading super chats and all that on Monday because that's when I'm going to say, hey, man, we're going to be hardcore in this boxing and we're going to try to make this channel better and we're going to make this channel grow. But today is Easter. It's Easter Sunday. So I thought to myself, hey, man, I would rather talk about this. This is where my head is at. Because if my head wasn't there, then I would have had a hard time talking about boxing for 10 minutes. Because everything would have turned to this. Because this is the day that they say Jesus was resurrected. And I think symbolically that is very important. So I wanted to talk about a way in which a Messiah could be literally resurrected. And it is through the strength of his people. And the acknowledgement of him. And if you do that, then all of the other haters will go the fuck away. Alexander the Great. Y'all call him Alexander the Fake. Alexander the Great. People didn't fuck with him. People weren't fucking with him. People were not overcharging him. People were not running pyramid schemes on him. They were not charging him interest on his money. They did not have him locked down by credit card scores. Okay? And I don't believe that he would care about any of that shit. So if I make a connection, he ain't fake, dog. He ain't fake. That dude was not fake. That dude could run through your whole country. I don't understand how that is fake. Alexander the Great could run through your whole country. No joke. On a whim. Oh, you're talking shit. Let's run through his country. And let's run through 5 countries on the way to it. No, dog. That is a bad motherfucker, dog, is what that is. You may not like his politics, but that don't mean he can't fold you like laundry. Right? Fold you like laundry. And with that, I'm out. Peace.